I was on a road trip not all that long ago. And part of what ended up happening with my road trip is there had been previous opportunities for me to meet a small group of filmmakers who are making video, who are making films, and who are telling stories, who really want to share their faith through their creative endeavors and through the stories that they're telling. And as I went to be with them, it was an interesting experience because they had shown me a film, but the film that they had shown me, I had seen areas and opportunities for improvement in the film. And as some of you know about me, before I was a rabbi, I was a sound engineer. And as a sound engineer, I learned how to end up taking and working in recording studios, working with sound live, working with taking environments and making them more conducive to sound. Indeed, what you have behind me right here is a very specific sound treatment system that has taken a very large room and a very small amount of sound treatment has made the room a much better sounding place. And so this is something that I was aware of. This is something that we have built. This is something that is also a commercial product that if people wish to purchase, it's available. And so this has been my area of discipline, my area of expertise, and one of the things that I do besides being a Messianic rabbi. So in terms of this, the filmmakers had a film that they wanted to share with people, but they wanted the sound to be better. And so in the midst of this, I ended up leaving upstate New York and went to where the filmmakers were and set up a session to be in the studio, and we worked on an already edited film in order to make the sound the very best that we knew how to make it. And so with this video short, in a period of time, I worked with the filmmaker, and he told me what he was hoping to have happen, and I worked with him and showed him a variety of different treatments and different ways of processing audio and said, "Do you like this better? Do you like this better? Should we do this? Should we do that? We could do this. These sounds are interfering with each other, and if we take a little out of this sound and add a little into this sound, we make a little bit more space between the two sounds to the point where the dialogue is more articulate, but we haven't lost the power of the scene." And so we went through and we worked on this, and I was really happy to help him take a good product and bring it up a notch or two. So it was a better product, and it was a product that he was more happy to share with other people. And at the end of working with him, indeed the next day, we went to bed late, we got up the next day, and I could tell that what for me was just a very normal session of working with him had really ended up making an impact. And the filmmaker said to me, I'm in a place where there's a lot of people who have a lot of skill and a lot of talent, but for the most part, people are not interested in helping other people on their projects. They're only interested in working on their own projects. And I could certainly understand how people have a passion for what they want to work on themselves. But I was a little disappointed because the truth of the matter is that we as a people certainly have the responsibility for working on what it is God has given us to do. But at the same time, are we part of a community? Are we part of a group of people for whom we work to see them succeed, and we hope that by our caring for other people and contributing to their success, that there will be people that God will send to us who in a similar fashion will contribute to our success. Because we can either be a selfish people who will do nothing to help anybody else, or we can be a people who can be gracious, who can be kind, and who can believe that others who are working to bless God should have the care of being supported and undergirded. And I really believe that to the extent that people have abandoned community, to the extent that people don't end up worshiping together, to the extent that people don't understand the importance of the success of others, and that we may have a hand in helping people become who they need to become as well, we are missing out on the fact that God has built husbands and wives in covenant. God has built families where you have husbands and wives and children all together. We have missed out on the fact that God has done a work whereby individual families are related, and that cousins and aunts and uncles and grandparents and grandchildren and all the rest are a significant and important part of who we are to each other. And that in terms of, once you get the family thing sorted, you also get the thing whereby there are religious communities that believe alike, that worship alike, and that create community together. And once you get past the fact that there are religious communities that worship together, these communities also have power and effectiveness in doing a work whereby they can end up doing greater good for the society, for the neighborhood, for the community that they are in. And likewise, once you get past that, you can find out that there are guilds, there are professional people who work to care for other people who are in a similar guild and work for the general blessing and the general raising of the entire society around them. This is something that I think that we need to take seriously. And in the very beginning, we have two brothers who are mentioned in Genesis. There was Cain and there was Abel. And Abel was focused on pleasing God, and Cain was not. And God approached Cain and said, you can be received. You can end up drawing close to God. You can be received by God himself. And Cain, instead of increasing his game and caring more about God and being more giving and being more loving and more moving into being someone who was accepted by God, decided that the path that he was going to take was he was going to murder the one who God liked and give God no option but to have to deal with him. And God meets Cain and says, where is your brother? And about Abel, Cain says, am I my brother's keeper? And instead of admitting the rage and the horror and the wickedness that was in his heart, instead, Cain acts like nothing has happened. And so I think of the opportunity for us to help others. We can go out of our way to make society a better place. We can go out of our way to give in areas where we're not going to end up getting direct financial compensation. We can go out of our way to find people who we think are doing things that will help others and be of a help to them simply because we're grateful for what God has done for us. Or we can choose the path of we don't do anything unless it financially benefits us. And we can choose the path of if somebody really makes us jealous and if we think that somebody else has greater favor than we do, we can do everything we can to destroy them. Two paths are before you. What will you choose? Shalom.